This is Miss Hana, the one and only from the 419, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J. And finally, after what seems like a decade, the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts.
No dad jokes today, but I will say I am so looking forward to talking to people who actually will not lick the walls of a library and yell COVID is a hoax during an election.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
And the American Scooter Dust.
I may be odd, but I always get even.
And you flew into San Diego just to lick the wall of a library.
Yes, and boy, are my arms tired.
Well, let me rephrase that. It wasn't a library, it was a multi-purpose room now. They don't call them like gyms and shit anymore. It's like the whole thing about elementary has just blew my head all around. But yeah.
I mean, it could have been worse. They could have licked you.
Oh God, Jesus, that's not. Whew.
And it's a great day for wrestling. It is a great day for this podcast. As the last two episodes of this podcast was sponsored by NinjaBuzz.io. They were a great sponsor, and we hope to have them on in the future as well.
NinjaBuzz.io, all the greatest Ninja Flash games that you're not playing in one place. Go there now.
And a big shout out to Drew from the Great Priority podcast for filling in for the last 2 weeks, giving him that hot tag. So it is greatly appreciated towards him, and we hope to have him on in the future as well. And of course, last week I interviewed Miss Hana in what was a very interesting interview that you should definitely check out. This upcoming week we got Rob Killjoy, and if you want more about that interview right now, here's a clip of that interview. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Well, the Ugly Ducklings entrance music, because it's amazing. Best entrance music of all time.
Fair enough, but let's say they lost the track, they can't play it for legal reasons. What's your second choice?
Ironically, this is just to pop Coach Mikey, which I know he will not listen to this at all, but I'll just tell him about it. It's going to be the X Factor theme song for the X Factor with X Pac, Just Incredible, and Albert.
Yes, I know.
The Uncle Cracker version, of course.
And next week, the week after that, we got Cross Jackson, Megan Mason, and Sam Beal and Crystal Moon. That's all of October already in the books, waiting to happen. So check out Wrestling With in October.
So safe to say that it's cuffing season for interviews.
I mean, we're gonna Impact Star Sam Beale.
Yeah. He's a part of a faction with Brian Myers and Ziggy Dice.
Although Brian isn't necessarily really sure if he wants to keep him or not, but
Hey, true. So yeah, packed month for wrestling with entertainment, and we got a little couple Easter eggs in there as well. Um, let's get into it. We don't even have time for news this week. We are wrestling with New Japan's G131 preview, review, everything in between.
Yes.
And we're only 4 days into the G1, and it's already been a clusterfuck. So let's talk about it. September 18th, we got A block action. And the first match of the G1, Kota Ibushi lost, I repeat, Kota Ibushi lost to Yujiro Takahashi in 11 minutes and 31 seconds with Big Juice. Bracket already busted. Kaliko, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, he's the defending two-time champ, so it kind of makes sense to put him in doubt at the beginning when this bracket got announced. Because Jesus, I'm surprised I even caught up. I'm surprised I was even able to catch up with wrestling with all the shit I was going on. But when they were announced, I was like, it's not as deep. It's not as it doesn't stick out like the other ones, and this kind of shows it. And the only ones that I was really interested in was Takagi and Naito being in the same block,
which we will talk about.
Later.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! And then you had
he's not in the block.
I know. I'll just do my shit all out the way. And then you had who was it? Evil Tonga in the same block. The way that they mixed the blocks up, they had like 2 to 3 different factions in it each, which kind of made it seem like some people are going to be gone, or some factions are going to kind of be in trouble to me. But
there are rumors that House of Torture will separate from Bullet Club and become its own faction outside of Bullet Club.
Okay.
But I felt like that they tried that with the firing squad, and that really didn't take off as quickly as I thought it would be.
I mean, you fire bullets, so.
Oh yeah, and that was the other one because they had Tama Tonga, and I think they had him and his brother. I want to say in the same bracket.
No,
it was just
they're different blocks.
Okay, thank God. I couldn't remember. I was like, oh my God. I know it was Naito and Takagi because I was like, okay, that's some LIJ about to get withdrawn real quick. Oh, it was Kenta and Tonga. That's what it was. That was the one.
But if you didn't have expectations of this G1, I think all expectations kind of went out the window this first match. It's kind of like, oh, well, you expected Kota Ibushi to win this match. Well, here's a swerve, which I kind of love that New Japan does that from time to time. But it also seems like that kind of blew up in their faces when we talk about Naito. But
the thing is with the Bushi, it always has that one upset where it's like the upset of all upsets. So, like, hell, Yoshihashi's greatest win ever is him beating Kenno Omega in the G1. Toriano's best win was beating Mox. Like, think about that. Like,
I
so
mean, he did
it's
Moxley,
not.
Naito, Koda. I mean, he's had.
Yeah, he had a hell of a G1. That was like a hell of a G1 for
Yeah.
him. That was like the lifetime of lifetimes for him. So, like, they always have that where people, and it wouldn't surprise me this year because people are starting out the gate hot and then kind of come down to earth. Um, but this puts Ibushi in a bad situation to him having to fight back to get to the get to the finals. And I think that's good because I think he wasn't really well received when he won it the second year in a row.
Let's talk about two people that is in their first ever G1. The Great Khan defeated Sangaloma in 17 minutes and 45 seconds with the Eliminator. Great Khan goes to 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive match by both guys. Me and Drew last week were kind of stating that this is both of these guys coming out party. That this is where we really see where they're going in the next year and what New Japan has planned for them. Scooter, do you see these two guys doing something significant in this tournament?
I do see Great Khan doing something significant, and I've had a feeling about Great Khan for a while. It was some months back during I can't remember which, where I think I said Great Khan is moving on up in the ranks of New Japan.
Right.
So if I make no mistake, he's not gonna win.
No.
But he's gonna come close.
Well, again, we will talk about that matter in a couple more matches. Next match, Toriano defeated Kenta in 11 minutes and 7 seconds. Yeah, I mean,
He always gets one.
it's,
He always gets one. Come on, man. You know he gets one. He'll
yes.
get one.
So
Last year he got like 8, but this year
Yano was in it until maybe 2 nights before the finals.
yeah.
Yeah.
he's like the Spider-Man of New Japan. Everybody gets one.
Oh yeah, he literally gets it. And shit. It's just crazy that the fact that like everybody don't take him seriously till they have to take him seriously. He's that guy. Where it's like, oh yeah, it's fucking Toriano, and then you're like, oh shit, I just lost to Toriano.
The only reason Toriano is in this tournament is to fuck people's brackets up, and that's it.
And get you to buy his DVDs. Come on, man. Like,
well, yeah. And Kenta's still in it. It was the first night, and Yano is better in this tournament than he is at this point, but we'll see what happens there. That brings us to the match of the week, the match of the tournament, the match everybody is going to be talking about for quite some time. Tetsuya Naito lost to Zack Sabre Jr. in 27 minutes and 5 seconds. He submitted to Yes, I Am a Long Way from Home. After the match, it was announced that Tetsuya Naito had torn his ACL and prevents him from being in the remainder of the G1. What does this mean, Kaliko?
it just means that I mean Naito wasn't really I didn't see him winning the A block. But I did see him as a guy who was going to make Takage. Because I think the match everyone was going to go for was Takage versus Naito. And in my mind, I was thinking, oh, Naito could beat Takage. And that could be a thing where it would be a whole LIJ implosion. Because I don't feel like LIJ is as together as they usually are. But Naito is older. He's passing. I would have saw it as a passing of the torch in a
But
sense
Shingo
of
and
making
Naito are the
Takage.
same age.
However, but I feel like Takage seems like the fresher wrestler.
Not necessarily the fresher wrestler.
The fresher wrestler is in like less wear and tear on their body.
Yeah, but I would say less in the spotlight.
True, but I mean,
yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree that this is probably Takagi's to win.
hmm
Um,
and I thought if he had a one, I thought he would have picked Naito to face him at at Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, last week, me and Drew were kind of going more on the lines that Okada wins the G1 and kind of restart the Rainmaker gimmick and his redemption path after being so low for so long. I had maybe pitched in, thrown in there that Kenta might win that, kind of becoming the figurehead of Bullet Club Japan.
Right.
But then you have Takage, who they're really going with and has been super reliable. I just started this maybe a day or two ago. What are the odds of him winning and picking Will Ospreay to have that, unified IWGP World Championship match at Wrestle Kingdom?
I, I see it. I could see that. But there was one person that I realized who wasn't in the tournament, and that was Jay White.
Yes.
Because the one thing usually they do is if a motherfucker loses, like in the final, they usually bring him back to win it, right? But they screwed it up for him by winning the briefcase, thus throwing all of that shit out the window. So this whole G1 this year is literally a toss up.
Yeah,
Um,
can Ospreay still compete?
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Ospreay is he's physically able to compete. He is competing in the United States. He just can't. He's not
Yeah.
competing in the G1.
In the G1. So I guess they're risking his neck. So
Yeah.
it could be possible that he wins it and then picks him. But my question is, if Takage won, what would stop him from picking Naito and be like, I'm the man in LIJ now? And that was my thought process, because I was thinking like, I thought Naito would beat Takage, get the title shot, and it kind of starts a ripple for LIJ.
Well, the whole, infighting of LIJ goes back to when they first had their match in the G1 2 years ago, I believe. Because Naito said, because they're rivals, they've been rivals since school. If Takage beat me, I would give him LIJ to be the leader. And
And that's what
Takage had said, if I am beating him, but I don't want to be the leader of LIJ. It's his group, and I don't speak a lick of Spanish.
Japanese.
No, Spanish.
No, yeah, because it's Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Oh yeah, Los Ingobernables. But it's still Japanese. God damn, it's just the Spanish version of Japanese. It's like reggaeton.
The only
Reggae.
Japanese is Japón.
and that's not even Japanese. That's still.
Yeah, that's not Japanese. It's Spanish.
I actually think this makes it actually quite a lot easier. Why not frame the story of Naito's injury somehow being Takagi's fault, and actually wanting to usurp Naito as leader of LIJ?
It could be, and that's what I was thinking. And it's a couple cats that I realized that was not in this that are in this tournament that shouldn't be, and then there's some that should be. But that's a whole nother thing. But I think Takage, the A block is his to lose. Essentially, I don't see him slipping. And with him being withdrawn, who do they put in his place? Because you could easily put in an Osprey or a Jay White. See what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, they're not putting in anybody.
or they're just gonna make it a buy
Nobody's replacing Naito. Everybody got 2 points on Naito.
off the rip.
They will be competing in a special singles match, but it will not be for points.
No, God.
Yeah.
So they did that route. They didn't just went ahead and go. Because I felt like if
I mean,
they added,
who do you put to replace Naito in a matter of 3 days between next G1 match? Because his next match was against Sangaloma on the 23rd.
I mean, they could have, shit, they've done faster. Hell, like, that just tells me they don't prepare.
I mean, they could have gotten Minoru Suzuki back.
Yeah, they could have got Suzuki.
I mean,
And Suzuki versus Zack Sabre would have been a fucking.
I mean, they had Yuji Nagata on, on later nights, so
Yeah, but he
why not?
retired from G1 participation 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, he retired a while ago.
Yeah.
But there were people like I said, Jay White was available.
Well,
I would think Jay White is available.
I mean, well,
but you have to quarantine for 2 weeks before you get there. So
yeah, and he's currently stateside still, isn't he?
yeah, he's here.
Yeah, because he came in Impact, and that's what I missed. I seen all this shit. I didn't get to talk about all this shit, and that pissed me off.
And now that Naito is out of this tournament, maybe he wasn't going to win the whole shebang, but he was going to be a big point getter, and he was going to be in the conversation for winning a block. So now that he's not in that position, who kind of climbs up the ranks and takes that position from him?
Kenta.
I had
thinking DSJ.
I had
Or
Kenta
Show.
I had Kenta winning A block, so I was thinking Great Okan might fill in those shoes, kind of have somebody from each faction doing something.
Well, it would be Takage, Kenta, and Great Okan, unless Show,
And
or is it
Ibushi.
Yo?
No, neither of them are in.
Well, I don't see Ibushi even getting, because
Yeah.
I would think the pressure of winning it twice in a row and the wear and tear would get to him.
And coming off a major medical issue as well.
Exactly. So that was my thought process. And when I looked at the A block, and you could always tell who wasn't gonna. Takahashi's never in it. Ibushi, you could make an argument. Tangaloa, this is his first time actually being a singles competitor this fucking long. Great Okan, you can make a good showing. Yano's going to be the guy who kind of front runs and then comes back. Kenta is the guy who's really popular and hated, and he could win this bitch. Sabre Jr. is the guy who's like, I want to play even Steven with the wins. Takage is the man, so it would make sense if he won. And Ishii is basically just the tough out. That's what I looked at when I saw A block. But
that brings us to that match: Shingo Takagi versus Tomohiro Ishii. Shingo won in 27 minutes and 56 seconds, but lost to the Dragon. He's at 2 points as of that night. Another one. The thing about Ishii is, he's not going to win, but he's going to have a couple of a hell of a matches in between there.
Yeah, and that's what they pay him for. He's the tough out. He's the motherfucker that you're gonna be like, he ain't gonna win, but he'll fuck you up, and you gonna learn. He's the you gonna learn dude. That's him.
Well, I mean, last year he was the guy that prevented Jay White from winning the G1. So he's still a factor to some degree in the outcomes of everything.
Yeah, he's always a factor. It's just more of what night you catch him on. I expect him to beat the people he's supposed to beat, and then I expect him to not beat the people he can't beat. So I expect him when he fights Tamaloa, the other one, he should beat him.
Sangaloma,
Yeah, so he should beat him. Great Okan, I don't see it.
No.
Osprey, I could see him beating his ass.
Osprey's not in it.
Not Osprey, Saber Jr. There you go, the skinny Saber Jr. kid. He should beat his ass. Toriano, that's a toss-up because fucking Yano, goddamn.
Oh no, he's gonna beat Yano. He don't do bullshit with Yano. He knows him too
Yeah,
well.
no, he's the only person that don't play that shit. But
Let's get into the 19th. We got B block action. First match out, Yoshihashi lost to Evil in 17 minutes and 15 seconds to Everything is Evil. Kaliko, what are your thoughts on Yoshihashi?
the wrestling gods are happy because fuck Yoshihashi.
Oh. How does Evil like his dick? To go.
Second match out, Jeff Cobb defeated Chase Owens in 12 minutes and 11 seconds with a 12 the Island. Jeff Cobb coming out strong as we expected he would. But honestly, a good little showing of Chase Owens as well.
It's the first one, so he's going to be in that juice roll.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm getting a...
That was another motherfucker that wasn't in here. Juice Robinson, what the fuck is he?
Impact.
I could easily name 10 motherfuckers. This bitch.
Hold on, I'm getting an imminent weather report from hell. It is minus 90 in hell because Jeff Cobb has won a match in the G1. No.
You ain't lying. But it's against Chase Owens, who looks like, one of the Olsen kids. And
Jeff Cobb's coming off a big win against Okada at the MetLife Dome. So, with Will Ospreay not being there, he's kind of put in a position to look strong in this tournament.
on the B block side, it might be. But I got three people who I think should be in there, but we'll see how it goes.
Next match, Sonata defeated Tamatanga in 19 minutes and 4 seconds with an Okano bridge. Sonata did very well last year in the G1. He made it to the finals. Last week we were a little bit skeptical of if he would make it this year, but what say you, Kaliko?
The curse will be broken, and if Takage doesn't win, Sonata will win.
What about you, School?
I mean, this is I think B block belongs to Sonata or Evil.
And plus, I put it on tape last year that he was winning. Last year I said he winning it next year.
Yes, you did say that last show.
So I have to stick with that. Stick to the guns, baby.
Well, I mean, at this point, you've had Sonata winning the last 3-4 years.
Well, yeah.
I
But
think
this year, I had to put the faith in him. They put him that far. Fucking give it to him by that point. Shit.
I think they're gonna run back on Sonata and Evil. And revisit that.
Alright.
They are gonna fight each other in the block, so that makes sense for the final. You can see that. Sonata.
Next match, we got Hiroki Goto. Losing to Tai Chi in 18 minutes and 30 seconds with a Black Mephisto. Tai Chi has honestly done pretty well in this tournament. The last 2 years he's been in it. But, not a guy that's actually going to win. No?
I think he'll be a top 3 guy.
The power of cheeks compels you.
It's that cheek. It's that trunk to butt cheek ratio.
The main event of the 19th, Hiroshi Tanahashi lost to Kazuchika Okada in 29 minutes and 36 seconds with a Rainmaker. And oh my god, this was like watching Tanahashi versus Okada in 2014.
Yeah.
Tanahashi looked like exuberant, he looked healthy, and he looked like he really wanted to win this match. Okada kind of took the brunt of everything, but at the end of the day, he won with the move that made him famous, the Rainmaker. Kind of saying that he's back to being the Rainmaker and that he will recapture the World Heavyweight Championship at the end of all this. Do you believe that, or is he kind of just lying to himself at this point?
Well, the problem with that was he was so fucking good that people didn't like the fact that he was the champ. He was like the Roman Reigns at the time of New Japan, even though he was way better than Roman Reigns as far as like wrestling is concerned. But I think when they did that, when they did the whole Gato betraying him and going through that low point and coming back, I thought it was kind of played out. Because when he lost to Toriano for the King of Pro Wrestling Championship, I would have thought at that point, yeah, it's time to bring his ass back up. But New Japan was like, nah, keep his ass in the dirt. You want to talk shit about the belt? Keep his ass in the dirt. So it was like, because here's the thing, he tries in his matches, he knows he can win with the Rainmaker, but for some odd reason, he just chooses not to use it, right?
I mean, all his matches last year in the G1 were either won with the money clip or just a simple roll-up.
Right. So he knows, and it's like he's trying to, I guess in his mind, he sees the Rainmaker as something where it got him great success, but the success had a cost, right? So that's, I think, that's what I think he's balancing with. But hell, he's back. Rainmaker's back. Now, if Gato comes back, that's a whole different thing. But for now, he's back. So we'll see how far he goes. Because as much as I like to say that everyone is doing great, the Naitos and the Ospreys, I still feel like he's the face of New Japan. And so eventually he's going to have to come back up there and reclaim
I feel like there's something underlying with Okada that maybe prevented him from being in that spotlight these last 2 years that maybe wasn't addressed publicly, that maybe will come out at a later date.
Well, I mean, granted, I thought his ass would have been at the belt by now because goddamn the Olympics was coming, and I thought they would have put him at the forefront, considering he was
One of the
literally
torchbearers.
between. When you think of New Japan, you think of Tanahashi and Okada, top two, easy.
Right.
So much for that.
But what do you think? Scooter, is the Rainmaker back? Is he winning this thing?
Hmm.
Well, you just said it's
mean,
Evil or Sonata's to take.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, I don't think. I think Okada is. Yeah, I think Okada is done winning G1s.
what?
I also feel like he's at a point where he don't need the G1 to get the
Exactly.
title shot. Like he could beat Takage given it and fucking get the title shot.
Well, we talked about A block, B block. You guys wasn't here to kind of say who you thought was going to win the A block, who was going to win the B block, and who was going to win the thing overall.
The whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kaliko, who wins A block?
Based on everything, I'll say Kenta.
Who wins B block?
Sonata.
Kenta and Sonata are in the finals. Who wins the whole shebang?
Sonata.
Scooter, who wins A block?
Takagi.
Who wins B block?
Sonata.
Who wins the whole shebang?
Sonata.
Alright. That takes us to the 23rd. The first match out wasn't technically a match for points. It was Yuji Nagata versus Tangaloa. Tangaloa won in 15 minutes and 35 seconds with 8 shit. It maybe wasn't a G1 match, but he already has 2 points, and he got a win over a legend. So does this win actually do anything for Tangaloa, Kaliko?
I think it does the fact that he can do good as a singles wrestler, because the problem with him is that his brother Tama is already he's done a couple of G1s, so he's already established as a singles guy, and you could have seen him being a respectable guy. So this is basically him beating the Gata is essentially put the fact that if God were to they'll never go their separate ways. They're fucking brothers. But if they wanted to go after singles titles, they both have viable options. Well, they are both viable candidates to be a champion, like a U.S. champion or of that sort. A U.S. champion or a never open weight champion. So it just gives more depth in the singles end, because I feel like the depth is missing with some of these singles titles. Especially the heavyweight champion, and especially the U.S. championship. But that's a whole different issue.
What say you, Scooter?
Oh God. Honestly, I don't know, man. I got nothing. I just, yeah.
Well, let's move on then. We got Toriano losing to Great Khan in 11 minutes and 30 seconds with an eliminator. Great Khan still kept the hairpiece that he had cut off in his last match with Toriano, which cost him the New Japan Cup. Interesting and fun match. What was your thoughts, Kaliko?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, Yano always makes them fun. It's just the problem that he only got that one way to win, and it's like who the hell could I put it as in a sports right? It's like if you're a basketball player and you dribble right, and everyone knows you dribble right, but you're unstoppable dribbling right. But the moment they got you stop dribbling right, it's a wrap, and that's what it is with Yano.
Well, I
Like,
mean, last time, Grailcon literally had to cut off his own hair and still lost the match. So he was kind of owed a victory against Yano at this point.
yeah, but I guess this year he ain't bullshitting. So there you go.
Now, the interesting match of the tournament so far. Kenta defeated Yujiro Takahashi in 15 minutes and 48 seconds with game over. Kenta wanted to do Too Sweet with Yujiro before the match. He refused. He went over to Peter. She refused to do Too Sweet with him as well. They had a match that was relatively clean, considering there was two Bullet Club guys in there. Um, Kenta obviously got the victory, and Yujiro after the match then offered to Too Sweet Kenta. Is this kind of underlying the inevitable split between House of Pancakes, Torture, and Bullet Club, Scooter?
Yeah, I think it is.
What about you, Kaliko?
Kenta was in that spot where he didn't have to join Bullet Club to be hated. He could have just came back. So to me, to
Well,
me,
definitely
to
added.
me, you say what? Yeah, it added, but I felt like it was more like a icing on top of the cake that was already baked once he came back. Uh, but yeah, I think so too, and I think Kenta at this point, I, his work in ever since he got back is like, does he really need Bullet Club, right?
Um, it
Because
does
keep
fit
in
him
mind, he
well.
won a briefcase and made the bitch more popular than the fucking U.S. title, which was held by a guy at Impact at AEW who didn't choose not to show the belt until they just finally kicked in a forbidden door.
Well, the thing about Bullet Club was that they're the faction of the outcasts, the ones that weren't really accepted by the New Japan crowd. And personally, I felt Kenta fit that bill perfectly, being, the Noah guy. Um, but if you look at, the House of Pancakes, Torture, um, Evil doesn't fit in properly. So definitely sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
Um, Dick to go is just a dick to go. So then there's
Dude,
but
no
but
again. But
but I also felt like in the Bullet Club they had codes, right? Like that was the problem because remember when they had the whole thing with the elite and the fire. That's why I was like, why the hell did they even do the firing squad if that was the case, right? Because
right,
that was supposed to be like the OG cats going over these fucking cats who just want to do it to be popular. Because the Bullet Club in itself was kind of like a band of pirates, but even the pirates have a code to respect, right?
right.
So that's what I thought. That's what I thought the initial cause of the Bullet Club was, or the initial code that was.
I think the another match we really have to look out for is Evil versus Tamatanga, because they are in the same block and they will be competing against each other.
And
So
that will be a telltale. Yep.
yeah, the next match, Kota Ibushi defeated Tomohiro Ishii in 17 minutes and 42 seconds with a Kamagoye. He's at his first 2 points of the tournament. Technically at 4 because of the bye from Naito
Naito, yeah.
Yeah. Tomohiro Ishii at 2 points as well. 1 win, 2 losses.
Yep.
And
Next, because I mean, it kind of seems like you got his number. Next.
and the last match, Shingo Takagi lost to Zack Sabre Jr. in 27 minutes and 17 seconds with a modified arm lock cross hold. Damn, Zack Sabre Jr. going through LIJ like they're nothing at this point.
I told you, even Steven, you know what the fuck's gonna happen after they get the rematch. It's even Steven. You know what the fuck's gonna happen when Takagi catches him again. Because he gets the title shot. So you know how this
Right.
shit goes. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, like in the G1, if any person that beats a champion, they have the option to actually challenge for that title at a later date. So with Zack Sabre Jr. beating Takagi as the champion, he is pretty much guaranteed a title shot down the line.
Not to mention that this is Takagi's first significant loss since capturing the championship.
True, but I like that he lost because it actually protects the randomness of the G1. Because I swear to God, when Okada literally eliminated half the block within 6 matches, it was like, why even bother watching?
Very true. It's definitely been a newsworthy G1, whether it be good news or bad news at this point. But it seems like people may be watching, right?
I hope so. The only thing that was like concerning to me was like it didn't have any like other than like the B. I think the B block was like the strong B block for some odd reason is always the stronger block for some odd reason. But
And it's very interesting that Okada was in B block, being only an A block exclusively.
block for like you might as well have to call it the Okada block. I swear to God. But I hope people are watching because the names may have not are not as eye catching as they have been in the last couple years. But I feel like the randomness and the ability that none of these people are invincible would give you the impression that you should watch because you could see a hell of an upset. So that's what I think they were going for. Like the names weren't going to be there, but they were hoping that the action in itself would overcome it.
And I will say match quality has been significantly up for this G1 since other matches prior to this. Prior New Japan events.
Right.
That will conclude
yeah, you can make that argument. Yeah, you can make that argument.
That'll conclude the review, so let's preview the next matches. The matches on the 24th already happened, so we'll do a review of that next week on the show. So we're starting with September 26th. We got A block action. Not a G1 match. Yuji Nagata versus Shingo Takagi. Takagi, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That brings us to the first actual match. Great Okan versus Yujiro Takahashi. Who wins, Scooter?
Great Okan.
Kaliko?
Oof, this is interesting. Great Okan. Something tells me the Tokyo Pimp because just the fact that I like that name, Tokyo Pimp. But Great Okan.
Hello, I'm Tokyo Pimp.
I think they just had him, defeat Kota Ibushi just to put that doubt in your head, but I still feel like he's the jobber of the G1 A block. Just my
I think it would be Loa because he's not used to being a singles guy.
Well, that brings us to our next match: Toriano versus Sangaloma.
Yano.
Scooter.
Yano.
I feel like I should just go, you know.
And if you don't, no, now.
If you don't know, now you know.
But I kind of feel Sangaloma might get this win. I feel like he kind only having won, 2 points that he wasn't going to get at the end of it anyway. He needs a significant win to kind of kick off his G1. 2 losses in a row is not going to look good for him. My opinion. Next match, Tomohiro Ishii versus Kenta. Who wins, Scooter?
Kenta?
Was that a question?
No, that was a more of a declarative statement.
Declarative statement.
Kaliko.
Yeah, Kenta. If there was the run, it has to be now. Kenta.
Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Who wins, Scooter?
Well, this will probably be the match that Sabre loses.
What about you, Kaliko?
If Ibushi was the champion, I would have told you that 50-50 shit. But Ibushi, not the 50-50 shit today.
Yeah. Beating Naito, Takagi, and Ibushi 3 matches in a row? No. It has to stop at some point.
Yeah, but you know what? They did that with Yano where he went on that run because his shit didn't come like sporadically. It was like he was click, click, click. So I wouldn't be surprised. My mind is telling me that, but it wouldn't be surprised if Sabre should ZZB or ZSB, whatever.
ZSJ.
ZSJ, ZBD, CBD, BBD, Belbadabo, whatever.
CNN.
Don't say CNN. I'm an Escondido. Come on, man. Anyways,
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, where like he was the guy, and then he beats the people that he is expected to lose to, and then he'll fuck around and lose to Toriano and blows his whole shit. Like,
But I kind
I
of feel
wouldn't be
like
surprised.
if ZSJ beats Kota Ibushi here, he's winning the whole fucking thing. Honestly. I mean,
Because he got Naito, Takagi,
he's not
Ibushi.
losing to Yujiro. I mean, he could lose to Ishii. He could lose to Yano.
Yeah. Could lose the lower.
Oh well, that's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and that's what the thing is. Like, this G1 wasn't deep, but when you think about the names, like, you could only think of like 2 people that would have or 2 or 3 people that would have steamrolled through this whole competition, and that was like Okada, Naito, and Takagi, because Takagi's the champ. But everybody else is kind of like coin flip.
All right. That brings.
And then he still got Kratos Khan. So do you think he's going to beat Kratos Khan?
I would say that because it's like you say, it's 50-50, even Stevens.
Yeah.
So a
50-50,
Gretel Khan loss, a Gretel Khan win doesn't seem likely. I see ZSJ winning that match when we come to it. Let's get into B Block action, September 29th. We got the first match out, Tai Chi versus Evil. Who wins, Scooter?
Oh God. Yeah. But once Tai Chi have another high point run, I don't want it to be Tai Chi, so I'm going to say Evil, but I just have a bad feeling about this.
You think Tai Chi might win?
I think so.
I mean, you got two dirty Cheetos in there. One with Dick to Go, one with Miho Abe. So
What about Cheetos?
Miho, not Cheeto.
Oh, I thought they were
Miho
snacks.
Abe.
Oh, never mind.
What say you, Kaliko?
Who? Tai Chi or Evil?
Got the same apprehension I do.
I'm gonna go Tai Chi.
And apparently he's insane.
Yeah, I am insane. I'm gonna go, and I'll explain why in the next match.
I feel personally Evil. I mean, Evil has to do something significant to get off all of the bad juju he's been having these last 2 years. So, yeah. Next match, Sonata versus Chase Owens. Who wins? Scooter.
Let's see. The winner is everybody but Chase Owens. Sonata, clearly.
Is it clear to you, Kaliko?
No, I think Chase Owens would win if there was ever a win, and here's why. Because I think, and this is why I said I think Tai Chi would lose to. I think Tai Chi would lose. Oh no, I think Tai Chi would beat Evil. Sonata loses to Chase Owens. Both beat Okada, thus setting up them two for the B block.
Interesting.
Because there's always that one where it's like, could it fuck you up? And him losing to Chase Owens by a roll up does not fucking sound out of the fucking ordinary. They do him dirty. They do.
Well, I mean, he did lose to Yoshihashi last year, so.
No shit. So he's not out of that realm. He ain't in that elite level.
Technically, Evil wrestled Okada on the 24th, did not go his way. So their theory is already busted, Kaliko.
Hey man, I think he'll come back to win, but I think that wisdom would tell you he would beat the brakes off his ass and just go ahead and keep it pushing. But the way New Japan works, it's always like the runner-up and champ is always in doubt. And then the champ eventually gets beaten and the runner-up continues on. So that's why I think Sonata would lose to him and win the rest.
That brings us to our next match, Hiroki Goto versus Jeff Cobb. Who wins, Scooter?
Yeah, I'd probably go with Cobb, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was Goto's one of Goto's few victories.
What say you, Kaliko?
Cobb. Because that stable's got to do something, right? Like, shit. Him and Great O'Khan representing.
I Goto might actually pull this one off. Cobb needs to take a loss somewhere in thereof.
Shit, he's a murderer's row. Got Sonata, Evil, fucking Okada, Tanahashi. Like it's fucking row out there. Like, shit.
That brings us to our next match: Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Tama Tonga. Kind of seems like Tama would be primed to win a U.S. Championship match, but very unlikely. So I'm going with Tana. What about you, Scooter?
Yeah, Tanahashi.
Kalika?
Lower.
You mean Tama?
Lower, Tama, Tonga.
It's Tama Tonga.
Tama, Tonga, Tonga, Lower. Tonga. There you go.
Tama Tonga is in B block. Tonga Loa is in A block.
I'm sorry. I've been celebrating too much drinking, actually being able to sit down.
Celebrating drinking. Yay.
Mm-hmm. Nothing says celebration of sitting on your ass like having a couple.
Hey, I'll think of that. But, so you're going with Tama Tonga.
Yes. Tama, Tonga.
And the last match, Kazuchika Okada versus Yoshihashi. Kaliko?
You know damn well.
I wasn't asking you who was winning the match. You know what I'm asking.
You know damn well. Fuck Yoshihashi. We're gonna go Rainmaker. I hope he Rainmakers him like 15 times. Like over under how many Rainmakers?
But they're on the same faction, so he's going to take it easy. And the last night we will be previewing.
Yoshihashi.
You have to get that in.
He got it in there. He got that mother.
And the last night we'll be previewing for tonight, September 30th. For Yujiro is fighting Bushi. That's not blocked action. Tomohiro Ishii versus Tanga Loa. Who wins, Scooter?
Ishii.
Kaliko?
Ishii.
Yep. ZSJ versus Great Khan. Scooter.
Ooh. You know what? I'll go with Great Khan here.
Kaliko?
Damn, this is hard. Mr. 50-50. Great O'Con.
I think 50-50 wins. Zack Sabre Jr.
Fitty. So can we just stop calling him Zack Sabre Jr. Just call him Fitty from here on out?
Alright.
Fitty.
Kota Ibushi versus Toriano. Scooter.
Fitty.
He's not in this match, damn it.
Yeah, no. Yano.
Kaliko.
Bushi.
Actually going with Yano. And the last match.
Yeah, no?
And then the last match, Shingo Takagi versus Kenta. Who wins, Scooter?
Ooh. Okay. Every time I always pick one match to go to a time limit draw. I'm gonna say this is it.
Very interesting. What about you, Kaliko?
Great minds think alike. Because I said if there were ever a draw, I was thinking the same thing. Like this would be the draw.
Well, I was
Because I
thinking,
think if Kenta beats say Zack Sabre Jr., that's the common opponent. Therefore, Kenta wins.
I was gonna say if Kenta wins this match, then he's
He's not
not
winning the
winning the A
block.
block. But
Right. So
if Shingo wins, Kenta will win A block. But draw, they both get 1 point. That actually doesn't seem so bad. It seems the lesser of two evils. So I think Scooter might be onto something here.
pun intended.
Yeah, yeah. But if it's either going to be a draw or the match is going to go less than 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, I think that would be the case because if Kenta is to win the whole thing, yeah, he would have to draw and then eventually do it. Because keep in mind, even when people beat champions, they never win the whole fucking thing. Because I thought Kenny Omega was
Right.
like, when he beat Okada, like we were like, holy shit, it's over. He's won this bitch. And then all of a sudden, Stone Cold Naito comes in and fucking ruins it for everybody.
I knew Naito was going to win that G1 because Kenny Omega wasn't going to win it 2 years in a row.
Bro, that would have been fucking history had he did it.
I mean, it was history.
The
He
The
did it
first
the one
Gaijin to
time.
win it twice in a row.
Yep.
Like he was the first Gaijin to win it back to back. They gave fucking. That's the weird part too. Don't give it to Okada back to back. Not Okada, Omega back to back. Who's like your best wrestler in the company, but Ibushi wins it back to back. Get the fuck out of here. Get the boy. Miss me with that bullshit. But
I mean,
that's a
that could have been a
whole.
slap into the face of Kenny Omega for doing politics and whatnot. But that's
Meanwhile, Kenny Omega living his
an,
best life with Daniel Bryan.
that's another conversation for another time. That will conclude our coverage of the G1. We will do more G1ing next week on the show. Now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more win.
Use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE Extreme Rules. It's tomorrow. And if you're smart, how should you listen to it, Scooter?
Only on the new and improved remix, part of the new UNB Live lineup.
Alright. And let's get into it. First and foremost, before we talk go over the matches. This is Extreme Rules paid preview. There's not one Extreme Rules match on the card.
Thank you. I was about to say that. Like, what the fuck? I know I've been out of TV, but I'm like, where the fuck's the Extreme Rules?
I think this is safe for work rules.
Like, I ain't trying to get COVID and blood rules.
I mean, well, when NXT is relaxing more rules than extreme rules, that's a problem.
Very true.
True.
I mean, we
True.
could see some stipulations added the night of, but what is the point of having a pay preview called Extreme Rules if there's not going to be any Extreme Rules matches?
ECW fans?
Um,
I mean, why is
It might-
everybody dying?
I mean, it might be implied that the matches are extreme rules to begin with. I don't know.
So every match is Extreme Rules?
You know what I wish they would have done is like Russian roulette the Extreme Rules.
Ooh, that would have been interesting.
Spin the wheel, make the deal, kind of thing.
Bingo! Hell yeah, that would have been dope.
Like, that would have been pretty cool. That brings
But
us
that's too much like sense.
That brings us to our first match. Liv Morgan versus Carmilla. It doesn't matter who wins because we lose. Scooter.
Damn.
Corey Graves, since he won't be getting any. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up getting pushed to pre-show. Carmilla.
Kaliko.
Remember when they did that documentary on Liv and it seemed like that they were just gonna go places with it?
I don't.
What? You don't remember the WWE documentary You Live Only Once? What?
No, I don't.
Holy shit! Am I the only one that watched that?
No, you only live once.
You only live once. It was just like it seemed like they had a direction with her, and then they got rid of her Ace Boon Coon, which kind of fucked that up. So she's been floating ever since. So I'm gonna go with Carmella just due to the fact that they don't know what the fuck to do with her.
I don't necessarily know what they're doing with her, but when they had that whole every girl comes out to challenge Becky Lynch segment after SummerSlam, Liv got a pop. So people are getting behind her now. Oh. So maybe this is kind of what you were saying, Kaliko. Kind of give her maybe that push that she should have got when that documentary came out.
True, but I also remember that they gave that put that everybody was behind Oscar like a motherfucker, and how long did that take?
True.
Oh, and you know what I learned? That there is a trans wrestler in Japan named Asuka.
That is very true.
Really?
Yeah.
The more you know. Holy shit.
SmackDown Tag Team Championship match: the Usos versus the Street Profits. Who wins, Scooter?
Well, considering that it looks like the Alpha Academy are going to be getting involved with the Usos, I wouldn't be surprised if the Street Profits win by a DQ.
At Extreme Rules.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yep.
What about you, Kaliko?
My mind's telling me Usos, but my body is telling me the Prophets. But I don't see the bloodline going anywhere, so we will stick with the Usos.
By the way, yes, there is one. There is one Extreme Rules match, and two, there's another Extreme Rules match by default.
Is that
Is it the Demon?
Yes, and
Bam.
the other one would be the Triple Threat.
which is the United States Championship
The
match
championship match.
between Damian Priest, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy. Who wins, Scooter?
Holy shit.
Karrion Kross wins because he proposed to Scarlett and she said yes. That's who wins.
Oh,
That is a win. That's a
bigger,
win.
I mean, he's bigger than Roman Reigns at this point.
For
Yeah.
the wrong reasons.
Yeah, Priest to retain.
What say you, Kaliko?
Not only Priest to retain, Hardy takes the pin.
Ooh. Yeah, I go with Priest as well. Raw Women's Championship match: Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. The real question here: will anybody actually see Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair? Because everybody will leave during the Charlotte and Alexa Bliss match.
I don't think so. I don't think people leaving during that match.
No.
I'm just
Same thing.
trolling Dave Meltzer.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. I'm
There
tired.
you go.
I'm tired. Yeah, that's another thing. Fuck Dave Meltzer. let me stop. Let me stop. I'm on my yak.
Hey, that's Bruce Pritchard's gimmick. Fuck Bruce Pritchard. We'll fuck Yoshihashi on this podcast.
You know what? Fuck Dave Meltzer in his ass with a barbed wire dildo.
You know what? Fuck that dude. Man. God damn. King. The gospel. Like, fuck out of here.
Who wins the match, Scooter?
They're gonna do something where, and I think they're gonna try and set Charlotte up to break the record. So I expect another Charlotte Flair title loss here.
What about you, Kaliko?
Ugh, it's iffy because the only thing I don't like about it is the fact that the title match came out of nowhere.
Well, you could argue Alexa Bliss is one of the more harder talents in the women's division right now.
But you can make the argument that yes, I will say that she won a lot of matches, but beating Eva Marie is not really guarantee a title shot. Okay, that's numero.
And Randy fucking Orton.
So she beats a man and she gets a woman's title shot?
Well, Bobby Lashley's a better wrestler for her. She's scary.
Nah, whatever. I think if there was some hokey shit, it would be this. But my only problem is it depends on how. I'm only gonna say Charlotte because of the simple fact Survivor Series. I expect Charlotte and Becky, which is a match that they've been fucking going for the last 2 years.
Alright. I kind of agree with that as well. I feel like Charlotte. I kind of feel
If
like
they're gonna go with that,
this whole paid preview.
only if they go with that format.
I'll get to this in a second, but I feel like this whole paid preview is kind of like a buy to kind of transition into the next paid preview, which I believe is Crown Jewel and Survivor Series. That kind of seems like, okay, well, we need to fill out September, so here's this paid preview. and this is what we need. But we're
In
gonna
a sense, you can make that argument. You can, because I feel like Survivor, especially with tickets going on sale this week, and I got a problem with WWE's hosting Survivor Series in the coldest fucking area in America. So yeah, that's a whole nother. Like, goddamn. But yeah, I
isn't
can
it
see
in
your
New York?
point, James. Huh?
It's in Barclays, right?
Yeah, it's at Barclays in fucking November. Ain't nobody trying to go to fucking Barclays in November. Oh shit! Like, what the fuck? Or as Conrad would say, what's up with that?
SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Who wins for the?
Bianca DQ. Because Becky's on her Conor McGregor shit.
Hmm.
It screams. And I kind of figured when the only way they could make her a heel is to do the Conor McGregor shit. But the problem is that I feel like more people would buy into that route instead of her being full heel, because she tried that full heel one time and we were like, man, fuck y'all. We riding with her. And I still feel like it's like that, but
Well, you mean
Becky all the way.
I mean we were both at SummerSlam, and well, I was from my position. It was Becky, yay, Becky's back. Yay, Becky's getting the title match. Oh, Becky won? Yay, Becky won. And
Yeah.
I didn't see like anybody in where I was standing, nobody in my section seemed to have a problem with Becky winning.
Oh, I can tell you who damn sure had problems with it. Every black WWE fan in the motherfucking universe had a problem with that shit. Because they do all this shit to make. First of all, I felt like after after her beating Bailey, and then she went with Carmella, and the whole Carmella thing, it just seemed like Bianca really didn't get a run with the title in a sense, because she only really had like two feuds when you think about it. It was Carmella and Bailey.
But I mean, who was she really
So
going to feud with? I mean,
that's
Sasha
that,
was
that's
MIA.
that's WWE's problem, because remember, Bianca was this was supposed to have been Banks Bianca too. So now that whole thing is that's a whole other issue. You see what I'm saying? So it it, it so SmackDown Women's title picture, it's really Bianca, Becky, Banks, and unfortunately, I have to say the rest are just happy to be in the running to get a title.
Well, I mean,
Not by their fault, but
right.
due to the way that they booked them.
I go back to the night after when Becky came on SmackDown. She got a loud ovation, and it kind of was like when Brock Lesnar beat the Streak. They were, yay, yay, we love Becky. Then she mentioned she beat the Streak, and they were like, boo, but yeah, we still yay you some. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have to get the people to believe in it. And the problem is that it's not like Becky came back from injury. She came back from being a mother. And I think that her leaving wasn't because of an ACL tear. It was because she had, you see what I'm saying? She left on positive terms because she was a mother. Then she comes back on positive terms because she had a healthy baby and she's still kicking. That endorphin mix don't vibe well with a lot of people, unless you're the Bianca fan that saw her get her ass whooped in 3 seconds.
What about you, Scooter? Who wins the match? Becky, Bianca?
I think Becky wins by choking Bianca out with the umbilical cord.
I would not put that past her.
Um, I know. I kind of expect Becky to do something heinous, like pretend she's got the baby, like what the Miz did, and it turns out, oh, it's just a dumbbell and a sheet.
And then out of nowhere, oh my God, what is his name?
Seth?
No, fuck,
Oh, Maury Povich?
no, the guy that kicked the baby.
Oh, Snitsky!
Snitsky comes out of nowhere and punts the baby into Bianca and knocks her out.
It wasn't my fault. Kick the baby!
Oh, Lord.
But seriously, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say Bianca gets it back.
Klinger made an
Bianca.
interesting point that Bianca wins by disqualification.
Yeah, honestly, that makes a lot more sense. And the question of whether or not, because it's clear that I think the Street Profits are moving to Raw, and if you move them, you got to move Bianca.
Exactly.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And that's where, between that and I'm thinking Survivor Series, they're going to want the biggest matchups. And what's a bigger matchup than Becky and Charlotte, two of your most popular women?
God willing, they don't do SmackDown versus Raw, which they probably will.
Yeah, they probably will. So that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, and
I think in the promos it was already built that way. SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking that Bianca and Charlotte could be kind of fire.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking that it could be fire, but considering if you believe in the fact that they care about what AEW does, why wouldn't they put their two most popular women in the basically Becky and Charlotte are literally two of the top 5 most popular women in wrestling. Why wouldn't they put them to dwarf a Soho Baker?
True.
Yeah, then since it looks like whoever's the champion coming out of this will probably have to contend with Naomi.
That's another person, man. If they don't fucking do something with that girl,
guess what? They're gonna do. They most likely it's gonna be Naomi is gonna be who brings Sonya out of retirement.
That sounds right. That sounds storyline wise right.
It does.
Before we
but
talk,
I feel like Sonya coming back as the heel. Yeah, because I feel like
Sonya's gonna be the heel, as evident on SmackDown last night.
I mean, I'm just thinking. I was thinking that off the rip because I feel like Naomi's like the poor man's Becky, in the sense that she got a lot of motherfuckers behind her. It's just that WWE's not taking notice of those people who are behind her.
I mean, technically, Naomi at this point should be running with the bloodline.
You're not wrong about that.
You're not wrong. But then again, Nia should be running with the bloodline, but Nia ain't gonna be back anytime soon. But that's a whole nother thing.
Wait a minute, what happened to Nia?
Elbow, she's out.
Yep. Oh, she's out.
Out. She out. She taking vacation.
Yep. Yeah. She went from being the face breaker to the elbow breaker.
Yep.
She was the face breaker.
Well, Fine. The Becky breaker. I don't know.
Yeah, the Becky breaker. Yeah, she beat Becky.
The Becky Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Before we
Beating up
talk
Becky with the good hair.
Before I talk about the main event, new WWE champion, Big E does not have a match on this card. That does not seem like a wise thing to have a brand new champion that probably has some momentum behind him, and he's not going to be on your next pay preview. Am I just reading way too much into this, or do I have a point, Scooter?
You do have a point. And I also think a lot of this has to do with having as much talent available for Crown Jewel as possible.
Well, I mean, he's going to be here. He's not like, spontaneously combusting between now and Crown Jewel.
I know, but you, be honest,
But I can't.
we don't know what's required of traveling into Saudi Arabia.
But I know the argument. I know the argument against putting Big E on that against Bobby Lashley.
And that being?
Because Bobby Lashley, it would look weird. Because Bobby Lashley lost 2 weeks ago to Big E, right?
Yeah.
Then he lost a week ago in the triple threat. And to have him lose again, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Plus
three times in like 14 days would be like crazy.
Plus MVP is out.
Yeah, and MVP's out. So that's where I think, like, let's say if Lashley had won the triple threat, pinning Big E, you can make the argument that they should be fighting at Extreme Rules for the title. But the fact that he took the pin, kind of, if he goes for the rematch at Extreme Rules, you're not going to have him lose, or you're not going to have him beat a brand new champion.
Right.
So that's where that's where the rubber meets the road for me. So I see why they did it. If you're going to have him lose, extend it to Crown Jewel and then set up the New Day Bloodline for Survivor Series.
Well, what are your thoughts on having an impromptu match at Extreme Rules where he just challenges somebody to come face him for the championship?
I still wouldn't see it that way because the way, here's how I put it. Oh, we and you talked about, I think all three of us talked about this, about Big E cashing in on Lashley and winning the belt, right?
Yeah.
Because this was the first, and we all agreed that would have made the most fucking sense. So it doesn't surprise any of us that it happened.
Right.
But by doing that, by proxy of Big E doing that, you reunited the New Day. So you have this hella big faction that is been running roughshod, which is the Bloodline, going against a newly minted group that never really broke up. They just like
kind of went their separate ways for a little while.
And not even with their separate ways. It was just like they were forced to be apart. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where, that comes in. So I don't see Big E coming out doing a challenge unless MVP pops up out of nowhere. But I don't see that happening because they never really set anyone up for Big E to even have that with, right?
Right.
Because it points to him beating Lashley. Then after Lashley, they're going straight to the Bloodline for SmackDown versus Raw.
Okay. Here's an interesting scenario that could evoke some, maybe just a one-off for the night. What if they run back the history of the first and second NXT champions?
Seth
So
and Big E. But I mean, then that kind of you
would it imply that Seth is getting drafted to Raw?
and you. It's not even that because it's a tri-brand paid preview. But Seth
No,
is in
that
a major
I'll
thing
try.
with Edge right now, and it kind of seems not right to job him out to Big E at this point.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, I'm just trying to think of ways
Maybe
for.
Apollo Crews. I
Yeah,
mean,
but then again, Xavier can be in a segment all of his own, and you know what, they're gonna do something. You know what? I mean, maybe even like, maybe they'll bring back the New Day ice cream bicycle, and just like just give Big E the celebration.
that might be something. And that brings us to the main event: Roman Reigns versus the Demon Finn Balor, and an Extreme Rules on the Extreme Rules paid preview. Who wins, Scooter?
Oh, extreme rules, extreme jewels. Gee, I wonder. Let me think about this. This is such a mystery. Oh man, it's so hard to choose Roman.
Kaliko.
It has to be Roman, right? Because the story is Brock, Paul, Roman. So Roman.
Well, the fact is, Brock and Roman's happening regardless of the title. So
True, but I think the title would make it more interesting.
I don't
Because
know.
Brock don't fight for title. Brock don't fight for free in the WWE. He fights for chips. Homie.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
right, true.
did the title make Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez any more interesting?
It didn't make the match interesting at all.
Exactly.
But oh,
What I kind of see Kaliko's point. It doesn't. The storylines between Roman, Paul, Heyman, and Brock Lesnar, whether there's a championship between all of them, really doesn't matter. But do you see the possibility of Brock Lesnar costing Roman Reigns the match and the Demon wins the title?
if they didn't do that 6-man tag on Raw with New Day and Bloodline, I could have saw it. But the fact that they did that screams that they want Big E to be on the same stage with Roman, the same way that Drew was on the big stage with Roman.
But you can say, but I could make the argument that Roman was on the big stage with Drew when that match happened.
Oh fuck no, man! You tripping?
Roman was only like 3 months into the tribal chief gimmick. So he
Yeah.
was still not proven at that point. It was still a proof of concept.
You knew
McIntyre was
damn
the
well,
champion,
but
coming in from
Yeah, yeah.
but
WrestleMania.
McIntyre was the champion that just got the belt back. It wasn't like he was
Okay, that's also true. So,
like he just got the belt back. It wasn't like he
but then
was
again,
running roughshod the whole time.
in recent years, the WWE has a very odd habit of changing champions right before Survivor Series.
And that's my point.
That's very
Like,
true.
I if there were ever a champion to get changed, I would say RK Bro.
No, it's
But
either the
they're over as fuck. Or the Usos. or that's the only belt I
No,
see changing.
no, I'm talking about the main champions.
Ooh.
It's happened like I think like 4 out of the past 5 years.
So I'm trying to
AJ
think.
Styles went over Jinder Mahal. Daniel Bryan went over AJ
AJ
Styles.
Styles,
Uh,
Drew went over Randy.
Orton, but that was a feud, so you kind of saw that coming.
yeah, but the years prior to that just didn't make sense, and it just
Hey,
seemed so. It kind of seems like Big E's number is coming up in November. Is what we're
I
saying
don't
here.
see it. I don't see that shit happening. I just don't. Why would I mean? You know what? Considering that Nikki Ash won the belt and lost it 3 weeks later, I could the shit could happen,
Now,
but I don't see the most consistent group that they've had ever losing and then not having those three go against the bloodline one more again.
Well, I
yeah,
mean, they still can. He just won't have the championship.
But
but
the whole point is that he's the champion. Because you wouldn't have believed Kofi Kingston if he was the fucking man.
see, I this is leading me more to believe that Survivor Series, the fight, there's not going to be a champion versus champion. The champions are going to lead the 5-on-5.
And that would make, I mean, the bloodline Roman pick two versus the
Well,
New
no,
Day
the new no. The
pick two.
Usos would be wrestling. Who's the Raw? The Usos would be wrestling RK Bro.
Who? Oh, yeah, the Usos would be with RK Bro. So that's why I'm thinking Big E would be with Roman with the New Day in his corner. Because the New Day really don't need the match. The New Day's going to be New Day no matter what.
True.
So I think that's why I think like Roman would get the win over Big E at Survivor Series, but Big E gets the fucking showing the same way Daniel Bryan got the showing against fucking Brock Lesnar.
Well, let's talk about this match right now. Roman and Finn
I
Balor.
know we're going down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole.
Uh, you know, are they just swapping Finn Balor out at this point? I don't think that he's going to beat Roman, but just the only doubt I'm having is if Brock crosses him the match.
It could happen in the sense that Roman is costed the match and he gets the belt back immediately, but
What's
then that would just tell you why the hell would you even do that in the first place, right?
And
to protect the demon character?
also, I mean, let's not forget that in Finn's first night on Raw, he beat Roman cleanly. And he's one of the few superstars that can boast that.
But that was Finn as Finn, not Finn as the demon.
But if I believe the true indicator of any potential title change would have shown in the color scheme on Balor's face paint. When it shouldn't have been red and black. It should have been blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he was red and black even when he was on black and gold. So
Yes, but the idea of the idea of the red again that brings up Bray Wyatt. And if he in the if it's the Fiend, at least if they did it with the blue, it's at least they can take that incarnation of Finn Balor as the demon in a different direction, even following that loss.
Well, that brings us to another question. Could somebody cost Finn Balor this match?
Ooh,
Good question. I mean,
Happy Corbin? Like what the?
my
Fuck
first
or
two
cost
picks would have
that
been Bray
match.
Wyatt
Well,
or Malachi Black, but there are no shows anymore. So
Carrion.
oh, that's a possibility. I like that
Ooh,
possibility.
but Carrion seems so raw. Like pun
There's
intended.
a draft in like a week.
That is true. But Carrion versus the Demon? I mean, if they put Carrion over the Demon, I see we're going down a rabbit hole. Okay, so
How about Dexter Loomis?
Well, he's on his honeymoon, so that's not going to work.
yeah, he's on the honeymoon after speaking his first words in like forever.
That's all. Yeah.
Ever.
I mean
So
we all have access to God, but his is ridiculous. No.
Alright, I think we went down this rabbit hole as far as we could. We're in China now. I think we'll conclude for now. Things will be more clearer, or they'll be more confusing in a week time when we review Extreme Rules.
And just as a little bit of trivia here, the Index wedding is the first successful wedding in 30 years on WWE television.
So,
well, hot damn. Wait a minute.
Savage
You
and
mean
Miss Elizabeth?
Yep.
wait a minute. The Teddy Long wasn't successful.
He got a heart attack.
I thought Teddy Long and Charbel.
Crystal, not Charmel.
Crystal, you know what the hell I meant. Sounds bad me being black saying they all look alike, but
Thank God, because I wasn't about to say that.
But actually, Vicky Guerrero got married.
Yeah, but do you really?
the Edge, right?
Yeah, but do you? Yeah, do you? Heel weddings don't count.
Oh, so we're
Because
only talking
Face wedding.
face
Yeah,
wedding.
face wedding.
Okay.
Because they're done as a serious, like, with absolutely no intention of like actual breaking up. So yes, I don't care. I'll fight you to the death on it. Index is the first successful WWE wedding in 30 years.
And
I mean, in the first successful after party, because goddamn.
And Scooter, how should people listen to Extreme Rules tomorrow?
Well, hopefully not on the toilet, but you should listen to it clearly on the remix, only on USB Live.
And that'll conclude our coverage of WWE Extreme Rules. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Join me this Wednesday as I interviewed Rob Killjoy of the Ugly Ducklings.
You were about to say Brock.
No. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. You can follow the show at Wrestling with E both on Twitter and Instagram for all your wrestling with entertainment needs. You can follow us individually as well. I am at JamesJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
Well, you can find me in a hazmat suit from A, people licking walls, and B, touching Tammy Lynn Sedge at I am Kalika.
And where can they find Scooter?
They can find me wondering why I don't remember eating any corn And you can find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust. And of course, James and I on the remix tomorrow night for Extreme Rules. And of course, me along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan. Twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
And for Caligula, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
I'm a fat
Reunited, and it feels so good. Reunited, 'cause we understood.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.